It's day 13 on this 99-day YouTube challenge, and I just looked at the thumbnail choices that I had because honestly, don't have a lot of pictures on my laptop of just me. I guess it's good in a way. I have so many pictures of me and someone else. I just don't have a lot of pictures of just me, and I'm actually curious if my wife has more, and we're gonna have to improve the amount of them that exist so that I can create thumbnails. Because it was really hard to choose one that didn't require a picture at all. Because I'm not going to use the same ones. Really embarrassing, but it's part of being a family guy that most of my pictures are going to include other people, which, that's not a bad thing. So here I am. I moved hotels. It's now day 13 in the challenge. Like I said, it's Friday. I'm still in Las Vegas. I have now moved to Aria, which is next door to Cosmo. I do like this place a ton better. Honestly, I have fun in Cosmopolitan, but Aria, the rooms and the restaurants and everything here suits me a ton. I do spend a lot of time in Bellagio, Aria, and Cosmo. They're all right next to each other. That seems to be my go-to spots when I'm here. I am going to be at the Venetian starting tomorrow. That's when my wife shows up, and we're extending this stay to include a little time together and some having some fun. National Finals Rodeo has begun. We've never experienced that scene. I've told her a lot about what this town gets like when the rodeo is here, and she's interested in that. And we're going to check it out. We might even go to the rodeo, hopefully on Tuesday or Monday, and we'll be back in DC on Wednesday. So you'll see a shift again. This is a one-night shift to Aria, and then I'm off to the Venetian. So I titled the thumbnail and I think the video "Getting Comped." So I wanted to cover that a bit. Again, I appreciate the fact that no one's watching the live stream, but I've committed to doing these, and in time we'll get there. But anyway, the comp, how to get comped. I do get comped, and I honestly don't think I paid for any of the nights at the Cosmo, even though it was a corporate trip, and I am not paying for tonight. And the reason is because I've built up a reputation with MGM specifically about the play that I have. So, how you can get comped, even at a low level, is to start by opening an account with whatever casino that you're visiting. And they're just everywhere. They're rewards desks, and you get a card, and then you use that card when you play. So if you're playing table games, you make sure you give them the card in advance. My throat is going to be rough. Sorry about that. You're going to give them the card in advance, and then they're going to track your play. On slots, it's kind of easy. You just stick it in the machine. Now, the trick is remembering to take it out of the machine. I think they've enhanced the technology to avoid you leaving it in the machine, but that was a common issue. My mother, like I said previously, is a huge slots player. So I do remember on occasion playing with her, sticking the card in, leaving, and then forgetting you left the card in the machine, which causes a lot of issues. So that is how you do it. And so they track your play, and then they make you offers. It's really not super complicated. Depending on how long you play and at what level, the math determines how much they'll give you. So I just left Cosmo and I spoke to the casino host, which is not something you do at the basic level, but since I've been playing for pretty regularly, and just to clarify, this is like not a weekly or a monthly thing, but I do come to Vegas for conferences, so I'm out here 3 times a year. Let's call it that. And when I'm here, I definitely play, and so I have a relationship with them in that at that level. So when I check out, I just confirm the spending that I made on restaurants and stuff like that, and they look at my play and they determine what they can give me. In the past, they gave me even tickets to shows and stuff like that, and it's quite nice. And they've even connected me on cruises, and because on a cruise there's also a casino, even though I hardly ever play on a cruise, but it's part of them building the relationship and the brand, and giving you a little something back for the risk that you're willing to take. So depending on the risk that you're willing to take, they give you comp. So on this particular trip, so far, not a big winner. So they look at how much you've lost and they give you some of that back. I think it's like 10% ish, or they determine like your average bet per hand over the amount of time you play. I did play a lot of craps this week. And then they talk about the average bet, and then they give you a portion of that. It's usually an uncomfortable conversation because I'm not really in any way like a significant player. I don't have a host that is mine. I do have to go in there and like kind of ask for it, and it's never super positive. I'm not saying that'll be the case for you. It just so happens that when I'm dealing with a host, I tend to feel like I'm getting ready for rejection. It's not a very positive thing to me, but it's math. So they're like the one guy today. We had a funny conversation about it. He said it's not hard to say no to people for what they want because the math shows them what he can give. And so since they pay for my rooms, that's part of the comp. They comp me on my rooms. If I therefore ask for all the food to be comped, it depends on how much I played. And so that's how it all works. So getting comped, it's about just asking. So that's what I wanted to shift to a little bit. I'm not going to get heavy into it on this live broadcast, but in future videos, I'm going to start introducing the point of the name of this channel called I Can't Hear You. And there are a lot of layers to that name. And that's the kind of guy I am. There's nothing about this brand that is just quick and easy for me to explain. And when I talk to other people about the brands they chose for themselves, not YouTube brands, but I'm talking about like business brands, it's always a nuanced kind of explanation. And that's what I really love. Like when someone comes up with a name of a brand or a name of their company and you talk to them about it, you really get to know the person. And so I Can't Hear You at a super basic level is about the importance of communication in our society today, especially in my world, the business world, and how much it's lacking. Of course, we'll get into the importance of communication in relationships and in family and just everywhere, honestly. Like, so I Can't Hear You at one level is about the fact that I just can't hear people communicating appropriately today. They are just not practicing those skills and talking about issues and willing to give feedback appropriately, willing to ask for feedback, willing to receive criticism and react to it and process it. It's so easy to deal with those team members that are like top of the level, highly productive. But we can't just ignore those that aren't there. And the way to do that is with good communication and bring people up a little bit. And then on the receiving end, it's about you communicating better with the people that can help you out in your career. So how it's tied to the comp world is that I just have to go through the door and talk to someone about it. I just have to go ask. And that communication is challenging. It's not like super easy to hear a no. And so I'm practicing changing how I approach them. And today was one of my practice sessions. I approached that host in a friendly kind of manner about how hard that job must be to constantly say no to people. And he just said, like I said, it's about the math. And we joked a little bit about it. And I wasn't like playing games so that I can get something a little extra from him, but I was just trying to like break the ice a little bit so that communication with this stranger was a positive thing and not a negative one. So just practice communications. I Can't Hear You is going to tie to a lot of different layers. I'm going to open up those layers starting now, honestly, because we've been doing this for 2 weeks. I've got enough practice talking into the camera. I am limiting myself to these 9 to 10 minute videos, which honestly is starting to become problematic because time flies on by and I know I have more to share. So I'm just giving you the little tip of the iceberg today. We're going to start unraveling that. I have more time today. I was able to get ahead of things and I'm going to, of course, be visiting with my wife starting tomorrow. But I think she's going to give me the space appropriately to do a little of this. And we're going to continue to do it live for the next few days. And then, of course, it's going to show up on the YouTube platform. I'm not going to get into editing videos until I get back, which starts Thursday, really my first work day back in DC. Then I'm going to be back in what is like my own little mini studio. And then we'll really start unveiling I Can't Hear You and the layers. It's a personal platform. That's super critical. It is not anticipated to be a really targeted, themed based channel that is focused. It'll be focused in some capacity, but it's definitely a free space for me to talk about a lot of different things. That's why I'm talking about casinos, and I'm going to talk about travel a little bit, but I'm going to be talking mainly about business and how to accomplish things, goals, etc. And then of course some personal stuff too. So we went long, and that's what I'm saying. Time's flying on these videos. I'm liking doing it. I will get better at the thumbnail. It is super, it's super bad. Like it's whatever. I'm going to prioritize improvements across the board. Getting a little better. I think the audio is working now. It worked yesterday. I have no idea why it didn't work 2 days before that, but we will talk tomorrow.